Okay guys, so now we are going to try to correct this practice exam number 2 for 2017, and let's start with the problem number 1. Determine the interval, the domain over which the function is continuous. Alright, so in this problem number 1, the question is to determine the interval of the domain. Well, you know that on a Cartesian system coordinate, you read your domain on the horizontal. Okay, so in this case, the answer is going to be D. Okay, in this case, the answer is going to be D, because as you can see, between minus infinity and plus infinity, you got a continuous function. And what is a continuous function? Is when my pencil has not been removed from the screen right here for me, for the paper for you, to be able to go from one side to the other side to the function. So the domain is minus infinity plus infinity. So the answer is D. I'm going to take the one a little bit bigger. Okay, problem number 2. In this problem number 2, what do we have? In this problem, determine the interval on which the function increasing and decreasing. So you should remember that if you want to define if a function is increasing, you take 2 points on this function, and you are going to define on its 2 points x1 and x2. Right there is where you're going to read f of what? For this x1, f of x1, and for the other one, f of x2. As you can see right here, what do we have? We're having x1 less than x2. And when I look at the value of f of x1, I can see that f of x1 is less than f of x2. Well, that tells you that your function is increasing. So when I look at my, and so before to talk about increasing and decreasing, let's talk about decreasing. Well, in the case of it was decreasing, what do we have? So we got exactly the same idea. So we got 2 points. Each of these points will be defined by value f of x1, x1 and f of x1. And for the other one, f of x2 and x2. In that case, we got x2, or let's talk about x1 greater than x2, but f of x1 still less than f of x2. That implies it is decreasing. So if I look now at my graph, what do I have? I'm going to try to zoom on the graph, and I'm going to take 2 points. Well, first of all, I'm going to take a point right here. Okay, one right here, which is going to there, and another point, and I'm going to take this point right here. Okay, so we got this and the value right there. So we're having 2 values of x, x1, x2, and so now let me rewrite that in a better place. So x1 is greater than x2, and when I look at f of x1, right there you got f of x2 when just right here f of x1. Okay, and so we can say that f of x1 is greater than f of x2. That tells us that we're having the function increasing, and increasing on which domain? On the domain minus infinity 4. Okay, if you look at the function, and I'm going to erase that, just the name of f of x1 and f of x2, you do understand that you will read right here, oops, that's the wrong, I have to remind you again. Let's see if I can rewrite that in tiny right there. This is f of x2, and the other one right here is supposed to be f of x1. Okay, so, and right there, it's where you're going to find x equal 4. Okay, and so we can see that it's increasing between negative infinity and x equal 4. I can expect the same thing from x equal 4 to plus infinity. It is increasing, and if it is increasing from 4 to plus infinity, I can say definitely that we're having the answer A. Okay, the answer A is the answer. The answer A. Problem number 3. On the problem number 3, what do we have? On the problem number 3, find the domain and the range. We're having the function number 3, and obviously this is going to plus infinity and minus and negative infinity and plus infinity, and we end up to have a domain for the number 3. The domain is defined as negative infinity plus infinity, and the range is defined as negative infinity, the range negative infinity plus infinity. In that case, the answer was C. And the answer is C. Problem number 4. Determine whether the function is even, odd, or neither. Well, how do I know that a function is even, odd, or neither? First, I'm going to calculate f of x, and if f of x equals negative f of x, okay, what am I supposed to have? So guys, I just like to add something because I forgot something in the expression right here. It's f of minus x what I need to calculate, and if f of minus x equals minus f of x, I'm going to say that my function is odd, and if I have f of minus negative x equals f of x, I will say that my function is even. In my case, I'm getting f of x equal minus 6 cube x cube plus 6x. Now let's calculate f of negative x, and f of negative x is going to be minus 6 negative x cubed plus 6 times negative x, and I end up to have negative 6 multiplied by negative x cubed, which is multiplied by negative x cubed, plus negative 6x, and I end up to have f of negative x equal 6x cube minus 6x. What do I see? I see that definitely f of minus x equal minus f of x. And so this function is odd. So the answer is supposed to be B. Now the absolute value function is shifted 7 units upward. So first of all, if I want to work that properly, I'm going to have to graph on f right there, x right here. This is absolute value of x. And because it's shifting upward, that means my function f of x is defined as a function g of x plus k. So I'm looking to see a function g of x with an absolute value, and obviously the answer is going to be B. Alright, problem number 6. On the problem number 6, use translation of one of the basic function to sketch the y equal f of x. Well, the basic function what I'm going to use is absolute value of x. This is absolute value of x. Okay, absolute value of x. And because I have the negative 6 inside the absolute value, that means that this function f of x, let me write that right here, this function f of x, and let me use the blue, the function f of x, this problem number 6, is defined as g of x minus k, and that corresponds to a horizontal shift, and because of a negative, because of the negative, we know that it would be an horizontal shift to the left. Remember, when you are dealing with an horizontal shift, when it's negative, you're going to the, sorry, I said to the right, left is to the right. It's the opposite. Okay, so to the right. To the right. And so, when it's negative, it's the opposite. It's supposed to be to the right. And when it's positive, it's supposed to be to the left. So in that case, I'm supposed to have f of x equal x minus 6, and it's an horizontal shift to the right, 6, and the only horizontal shift which is to the right is c. So the answer for this one is going to be c. Problem number 7. In this problem number 7, it's about the function y2 is defined as y1 plus k from some real number k. Based upon the given information about y1 and y2, find k. Alright. So they are telling us basically that y2 is equal to y1 plus k. Alright. So if I want to find k, I just need to do y2 minus y1 equal k. If I look at my expression right here, what do I see? y1 minus y2 minus y1 for the first, and for when x equals 0, y2 minus y1 is equal to what? y2 minus y1 equal negative 5 minus negative 3, which is negative 5 plus 3, which is negative 2. Then I look at the x equal 1, and I'm going to have y2 minus y1 equal negative 1, negative 4 minus negative 2. And I end up to have negative 2. When x equals 6, I can see that y2 minus y1 equal 31 minus 33, which is negative 2. So I can say that k equal negative 2 with confidence. And that tells me that the answer is going to be B. Alright, find the domain and the range of this function. The domain and the range is very nice because you will read the domain right here, and you will read the range pretty much right there. Sorry, you will read the range right here, and you will read the domain right there. So the domain for this question number 8, the domain is defined as negative infinity plus infinity, when the range is defined as negative 4 plus infinity. And the only one who gives you negative infinity plus infinity, negative 4 plus infinity with a bracket next to the negative 4, okay? Because obviously when x equals negative 4, when y equals negative 4, we are on the line, we are just right here, okay? Just right there is the answer A. So the answer is A for number 8. Number 9, I got 1 minute and 30 seconds. So let's try to do that quickly. Translation 1 of the basic function. So we got the basic function is y equals square root of x plus 3. What does that mean? First of all, I know that is going to be the square root of x. Because the plus 3 is inside the square root, that means I'm dealing with a gx plus or minus k, and that corresponds to an horizontal stretch. Horizontal is not a stretch, horizontal shift. Yes, it is an horizontal shift. Horizontal shift. Okay, let me rewrite that properly because I don't like it. Horizontal shift. Okay, and if it is an horizontal shift, and because it's a plus, it has to be to the left. And the only one with the horizontal shift 3 to the left, it's D. So the answer, in that case, it's D. Because we need to have, we are having an horizontal shift, and because of the plus, it's going to be to the left 3 units. Thank you, guys.